Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today with episode 2556 of the Cabral Concept. This is our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend, where we answer your questions each and every weekend. Love being able to open up the giant Ask Cabral document my team puts together. And I go through your questions literally one by one in the order that they come in. We don't skip any questions. We make sure we get to every single one. And as long as you're okay with waiting the 10 to 12 weeks or so it takes to get read live on the podcast, I love being able to answer them. Now, always, as I say, for same-day questions, head on over to cabralsupportgroup.com, and we would be happy to answer those questions there pretty much same day. All right, we know why we're here. Answer some wellness, some weight loss, some weight gain, some anti-aging questions. That's what it's all about. Maybe some health coaching questions as well from our IHPs. Happy to do that. So let's dive right in. Again, I have to give you my disclaimer. All of the words that I speak on this podcast, I'm not providing medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical diagnosis, or medical cures. That would be illegal. So that is not something that I do. What I do is I give you a place to get started. I give you a second opinion, a different way of thinking about things that's going to help you to find the underlying root cause as to why you're not feeling well in the first place. That's what it's all about. All right, so first question is from Anonymous. Anonymous says, a family member had surgery and a CT scan was done a few days after, and the finding was this mild right I think it's supposed to say atypical, but apical linear scarring and let's see if I can pronounce this, no, I can't pronounce it, stasis. Is this something that will go away or that can be corrected? She is a bit worried and alarmed at the finding. And again, for all the big words that I'm not able to pronounce, you can head on over to stephencabral.com/2556. But essentially what we're talking about is a scarring of the brain or the specific area where this CT scan was done, not an MRI. And so you're asking if this is able to go away. Well, believe it or not, so I have a lot of clients that are very much into the taking anti-aging and all the different scans to the next level. And pretty much all of them come back with some minor scarring inside of the brain. And you'd typically be like, oh, this is really worrisome. But it seems like everybody has a little bit, whether it was from a high fever or some type of inflammation in the brain when they were younger, an autoimmune issue maybe, a concussion, traumatic brain injury, etc. There seems to be a little bit scarring that's left. But I think just like most of the body, pretty much like all of the different joints and sometimes the different tendons where they connect to the muscles, there can be some scar tissue that's left. It doesn't necessarily affect the actual organ or musculature of the body. And if the person is doing well now, probably not going to be an issue. So what I would say is this. Our goal, though, is to get the person as healthy as humanly possible, make sure that we're doing heavy metal detoxes, functional medicine detoxes, really making sure those omega-3 levels are a 3-to-1 from omega-6s to omega-3s or less on an omega-3 test. So that's everything we're doing. Like, that's literally it. Because to my knowledge, there's no way to go into and remove the scar tissue in the brain. Now, you wouldn't want to do that anyways, because typically with surgery, unless it's something that's invasive and causing some type of cognitive-based issue, you create scar tissue by actually doing surgery in the first place, right? So we have to be careful about that. The last part is that, again, whenever there's scarring in the body, scar tissue, I always use proteolytic enzymes. They're absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge advocate of them. I use them myself. I take them every morning, actually, upon waking. So it's one of those things that I do with my first AM water, with my daily fruit vegetable blend, with I use lime instead of lemon, a little pinch of sea salt. I take a proteolytic enzyme. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. And again, everything I named today, it's all at stephencabral.com/shop. That'll take you over to Equal Life. You don't have to purchase anything there, but you can see what it is that I use in my practice and myself as well. Holly's up next. Holly writes in, I have listened to your previous podcast talking about a scalloped tongue being digestive system dysfunction related and not the teeth marks on the tongue. My tongue gets very definitive teeth marks on it. Even the marks from the edge of my Invisalign tray, especially after sleeping. The inside of my cheeks also have lines that line up along my occlusal plane more pronounced after sleeping. I used to grind my teeth horribly, but it has reduced significantly after Invisalign, working on my uneven bite, and figuring out I have adrenal fatigue and working on stress. I do have adrenal fatigue according to the HTMA, minerals and metals test, dizziness on standing if I don't get extra sodium. I'm prone to anxiety. Now taking Adrenal Soothe, DNS, full spectrum magnesium, I definitely feel better, but my tongue still looks off. Okay, well, so there's a couple parts to this. If you are literally biting down on your tongue, yes, you can create scalloping. So I'm not going to say that that's not the case. It's just not typical. Every person, for the most part, has a wider tongue than they do teeth. I mean, like you're not a reptile, and your tongue is fairly thick, and it will spread out when able to. Now, when you're sleeping or when you're at rest or meditating, the tongue you're trying to keep it to like the roof of your mouth. It's more of a relaxed state, not letting it fall back, which of course would cause snoring or sleep apnea, etc. Okay, so there's always that possibility. But if you're getting teeth marks on the side of your gums and your tongue, there could be an inflammatory issue here, and that there's swelling and that edema is then really pronounced on the tongue and the cheeks. So again, this is not a diagnosis, but it's certainly something I would look into, and I would again, want to know my inflammation score. So when you run blood work with your doctor, you're going to run your HS-CRP or just CRP if you can. You want that below a 1. And if you're able to run the omega-3 inflammation test, then you're going to run that to look at your inflammatory levels as well. I do agree, working on the adrenals, working on the stress is going to be very, very helpful. And then, of course, if you haven't done a functional medicine detox yet, certainly something to look at, the 7, 14, or 21 day. All right? Thanks, Holly. Patty's up next. Patty says, hi, Dr. Brawl. Hoping you are well. I really value your opinion. I know you are not into megadose vitamin therapy. What are your thoughts on it for breast cancer treatment, like vitamin B17, vitamin C, amino acid, ozone, ultraviolet light? Also thoughts on Bicalin, and vitamin E for breast cancer. Appreciate any help you provide. Okay, so I don't know if I've talked about vitamin B17 before, but I think that I have, because I have to be careful of like how deep I go. It's talking about like apricot seeds and different things like that. But B17 is something that has been used before. It's called amygdalin or laetrile, and it's worth looking into. Again, I'm not providing any cancer-based medical advice here, but I always tell people to go to cancertutor.com. I believe it's .com, not .org, and they have all sorts of helpful suggestions. I also want to share with you that I am into megadosing for specific health ailments. So like, I just want to say there's a time and place for everything. So for everyday people on a daily basis, you're right, I don't believe in megadosing of any type of vitamins or herbs. However, if we're talking about cancer, well, we need real intervention, conventional medicine-wise or natural health-wise, or both together, right? And you have to make the best decision for you. So I absolutely do believe in higher dose vitamin C, higher dose CBD, or THC, higher, again, you're gonna look into it, right? Higher dose, potentially B17, higher, I talked about vitamin C already. I mean, there's lots of things. And I've listed things before. I have a lot of cancer-based podcasts as well, so you can definitely check those out. I'm careful about using high-dose vitamin E, if you name that, or the vitamin E that we like is always with the mixed tocotrienols, basically the whole family of vitamin E. There's basically 8 of them. So those are really, really great. And then in terms of the antioxidant, I think it's an isoflavin, a flavin, Bicalin. I haven't used it before, know a little bit about it, but it's a natural antioxidant compound. May have some great benefit, not something I've ever used in my practice, but certainly you can go deeper on it, look into it. I know a lot of people have gotten good results with it, so absolutely worth looking into. Again, big believer in sauna, infrared sauna, sweating, coffee enemas, believe in like the Gerson Institute-based work. So yeah, I'm a huge advocate, and I'm basically trying to narrow down programs that are best for the individual based on what they have. So hopefully that's helpful. Oxygen-based therapy, I could go on and on. All right, Anonymous is up next. Hi, Dr. Brawl. Thank you so much for everything that you do for the community. I was just on your website and went under your personal resources, and I noticed that you have partnered up with Beauty Counter. I've been hearing so many amazing things about this company and how they are actually working with legislation to get laws passed to get safer and cleaner products into the hands of everyone. What I especially love about Beautycounter is that all of their products are EWG verified, which is a very big deal to me. They have so many amazing products that I want to try, but I'm not sure where to start. I want to start replacing the not so healthy products I've been using and replace them with cleaner ones. What Beautycounter products do you think I should start with first? All right, yeah, great question. So when we were doing IHP Live last year, and we're going to do it again this year, which is like super exciting, but I wanted to be able to talk about, give samples of companies that are trying to do things the right way. Like nobody's perfect, right? But they do have a lot of the EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group. So they're in Skin Deep. They certify their products basically as clean, all that good thing. So it's tough to find one company that has so many products, and they do. So they're a good resource. And again, they're at stephencabral.com/resources. That's where I have about 100 different companies that I think are doing things the right way that I like to promote, because again, I'm not here to do everything, and it's just not what I do. I help people with at-home lab testing to find the underlying root causes. Then we help them with specific protocols and maintenance plans, health coaching, but everything else, we just partner with great companies like Therasage, and we just talked about One Skin for rejuvenating the skin, which isn't a Beautycounter product. That's why I don't recommend just one company, right? I recommend whatever I feel is best for you in the community. So what I recommend is just what you talked about. What products are you using now that aren't as healthy, and replacing those with a clean product? So like, you don't have to use new ones, replace them as they run out. It's like the pots and pans that I talk about. When it's time to replace them with a non-aluminum based one, right? That's what you want to do. And I have all those too at stephencabral.com/resources. So the first thing is replace your mascara, replace your foundation, replace your sunscreen, replace your soap, do that. I think that's a great way to start. And then I would also look at it another way as well. They, on their website, since they have a lot of products, just like at Equalife, just go to bestsellers. Like, hey, what are other people using? What are other people really liking? And they have the reviews there. So you can check it out that way too. All right, glad that was helpful. And the last question of the day is from Simon. Simon says, hi, Dr. Cabral. With so much talk about fasting, one thing I hear surprisingly little about is the impact of reducing your window for taking supplements, vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. I do a daily 12 to 14 hour fast, an occasional 16 to 18 hour fast, and always wonder whether I should be taking supplements outside of my eating window. Are there downsides to reducing your windows for taking supplements? If so, what would you recommend taking? I've recently started taking an organic greens powder upon waking, as I heard this also assists with detox. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, happy to help with this. It's a great question. And I talk about this on previous podcasts. So if you ever can't find a podcast, definitely just write in at cabralsupportgroup.com and they'll help you find that, of when to take what supplements when. So upon waking, like if you're trying to get the most out of a fast, you won't use any products with any real calories at all, any real like nutrition for the body. So like a daily nutritional support, although if you're doing it on the detox, it only breaks the fast for a very, very short period of time, and then you're right back in it. And you need to do that so you don't become too catabolic basically over 3 days of doing those. Anyway, that's a topic for a different day. And I have a whole free course on that at stephencabral.com/courses. You can take the free detox course if you want there. So let me answer your question though. You don't want to take amino acids. You don't want to take like building things on a fast, because it's going to technically break your fast. Now you can take, which I do, something like a probiotic. You can take a, what's the other one? Proteolytic enzyme. You can take herbs. All of those things are fine, and that's when they're meant to be taken. Well, like the CBO protocol herbs is what I'm saying, because you want them on an empty stomach. You want them to move in and then move through your body systemically. So proteolytic enzymes literally do what fasting is meant to do at a faster rate. They go in, they're enzymes, they eat up all the toxic-based tissue, the necrotic tissue. They help get these things out of the body faster. So a huge advocate of that. Definitely hydrate upon waking. I have a podcast on what beverages break a fast and which ones don't. So definitely check that out. So your protein powders, your amino acids, branched-chain amino acids, your creatine, your collagen, all of those would break a fast. So just by a little bit, but yeah, they would. And so you want to kind of keep those out. Oh, protein shake absolutely breaks a fast, of course, from all those amino acids. It's not just about carbohydrates or fat. Fat breaks a fast. It really does. It's fuel. So the question about greens powder, that's a real fine line. It's nutrients for your body, but it's not calories for your body. There's not going to be a glucose spike, but there will be a nutrient fuel. So no calories, but fuel. I'm actually okay with people doing that. I really am. Because it's catabolic, meaning it's nothing that would build up your body. A greens powder. So we use the daily fruit and vegetable blend. It's 22 organic fruits, vegetables, and superfoods. So it's a rainbow blend. And we're okay with people doing that upon waking or an hour after waking. So basically what I do is I don't really eat, drink anything for like an hour after waking up. I kind of get ready for the day. Then I have my water with my daily fruit and vegetable blend, with a squeeze of lime, with a pinch of sea salt, and I take my probiotic, my proteolytic enzyme, and anything I'm doing at a fasting state. So that's what I do. And then I wait another hour, and then I have my smoothie, my breakfast shake. So that's what I do. Again, you can experiment for sure, but hopefully that was helpful. Vitamins and minerals, typically you're taking them with food, with a meal, all right? Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. Take care. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions.